After victory at the Combat of the 30, the French faced devastating raids from England's Black Prince. But France's King John II was closing in. Jean finally caught the English near the city of Poitiers in September 1356. The French army outnumbered the English by thousands. King Jean himself joined the fight, but what seemed a certain victory for France soon turned into a nightmare. The English longbow devastated the mighty French army. An endless hail of arrows gutted the main French force. Then the English captured King Jean. The fight was over. The Battle of Poitiers was another catastrophic defeat for the French. The English had destroyed most of France's nobility in a single day. Now they turned their attention towards taking the French capital, Paris. The invaders marched unopposed towards Paris. The remains of some of the medieval walls of Paris still stand today. As the English army approached, the terrified locals sought shelter behind these defenses. Could France's capital withstand the full might of the Black Prince's army? The English Black Prince had raided the French countryside without mercy, and now his army had come for the capital. With the English on their doorstep, it fell to the French army and the people of Paris to defend the walls of their proud city. Hoping to avoid open battle, the French began fortifying the city, manning the walls and calling every available soldier to his post. As the French hastened their preparations, several detachments of English soldiers were spotted closing in on the city. The English showed no mercy, burning their way to Paris via 3 routes, each of which was home to villages and farms that supplied the capital. Having struck out at the English front line, the French had slowed the enemy's advance.
Mon arc est prest.
As the French continued to rally their army, the English took the last of the surrounding villages and had almost encircled Paris.
Archers, prenez vos arcs. Ici comme le volet. 13 portraits.
Dicte-moi ma besogne.
Veillez les commandements.
With the countryside in flames and the English at the city gates, the French armies steeled themselves for battle.
Mon arc est
Now
prêt.
came the capital's true test,
Compagnon.
with the mighty walls of Paris hold against a fearsome English siege.
Presse par une sanglante hâtive.
Dicte-moi mon Versailles.
The Parisian guard raised the alarm as the English began their first assault on the city walls.
Archère, allons vraiment. Archers, oyez commandement. Archère en la voie.
Les autres, les commandements. Dicte-moi ma besogne.
À mon commandement.
En besogne. Arrête tout le monde.
L'ennemi m'attachit.
Jeunesse Legion.
Les chevaucheurs s'escoutent. Sigrez way, vos compagnons. Les chevaucheurs sont peignez avions-moi. Peignez avions-moi, compagnons.
Oberst annonce affamé. Ouest, on la voie pour bataille.
Compagnons, peignez avions-moi.
Baillez-moi besogne.
Fais ici nos givoués de Sester. Avant, à mon commandement.
Dicte-moi mon.
Baillez-moi besogne. Je vais
À Chesmes vos, archers. Archers, prenez vos arcs.
Fais ici nos sigrez way, vos compagnons.
À Chesmes vos, archers.
Chesmes vos avirez. Oberstier.
Il n'y faut que la nuit.
The French army fought valiantly, repelling the first English attack.
Peignez avions-moi, compagnons.
Archers, les commandements viennent. Ne demeurez point slat to koi. On déguerpit, archers. Archers, allons brillement. À Chesmes vos, archers en la voie. Ne demeurez point slat to koi.
Fix, peignez avions-moi.
J'exploite les réparements.
Besogne à faire?
Lors bâti de s'estuie.
Je vais rapparier ce manuel.
Although the walls of Paris had been breached, the French could still hold the city, so long as its mighty landmarks did not fall.
Lors bâti de s'estuie. Siège n'est battu.
Compagnons, peignez avions-moi, compagnons.
Quoi faut-il faire? Archers, prenez vos arcs. Le ferai-je donc?
Fais ici nos avance à mon commandement.
Vos oeil donc? Dicte-moi mon vers. Archers,
Oyez, lance devant nos salaires. Vécure merias. Oil, mestier des mouets.
Oyez, Veichi, commandements.
Vous me faites trahir. Bovons avoir mestier des bois.
Archers, les commandements viennent. Archers, archers en la voie. Archers, archers, allons brillement. Archers, les commandements viennent. Le vers où faut-il temper? Mon orchestre.
Laissons Sigret's Way, pro compagnon.
Basil, compagnon, nos allons.
Die Chevaucheurs sont prêts. Chevaucheurs, soyez très stricts au sens de l'ennemi. Il n'y faut que la ville.
Besogne fait. Lucia Loretz, à votre commandement.
Saint-Denis et Saint-Denis. Ici fait los commandements. Ten stars. Nos déguerpissons. Oyez.
Besogne à faire. Devant les bastires.
Compagnon, reste par un tir. Compagnon, reste pour la besoin.
The French defense of their capital held firm, wearing down the English invaders one by one.
Le parti donc besoin. Oh, c'est deux. Bien, bien, baisse.
Où est-ce die commandement? Weil, wenn man Westriers sonst frei. Die Ennemis sont archis! Les chevaux, Sigret's Way, pro compagnon. Veignez à les chevaucheurs, écoutez, si besoin. Il n'y faut que la vie. Veignez à bien moi. Commandement pour les chevaucheurs. Chevaucheurs, j'obtiens père à vos advices.
Reste fort prêt.
Que faut-il donc besoin? Advertance 12 monde.
Attendez les commandements, manance.
Le vers où faut-il archers? Dicte-moi mon vers.
Quoi faut-il faire?
Les lancières se meuvent. À votre ordonnance.
Ici, veignez avions moins.
On ne parle pas. Rappareillement, il trège sans nul arrest.
Reste portrait.
Les autres laissent commandement. Les chevaux.
Besoin de nos annonces devant le salaire. Marchiez rien moins, presque.
Compagnon, voyez bien. Le dégât.
Veuillez-moi besoin. En besoin. Si vais explosion.
Reste pas, marchiez rien.
Chevaucheurs, soyez
Ici, compagnon, reste.
à mon commandement. Oui, et mon destrier sont prêts. Compagnon, veignez avions moins. J'obtempère à vos advices. Sigret's Way, pro compagnon. Veignez avions moins, compagnon. Les chevaucheurs, écoutez! Les chevaucheurs, écoutez! Sigret's Way, pro compagnon. Il n'y faut que la nuit qui voise de s'extraire.
Advertance seulement.
Rex, jeunesse Litcher.
Voyez, tous le monde.
C'est strict au sens de l'ennemi.
Lucia Loretz!
Chevaucheurs, à vol, à mon Si obéis à vos commandements. Avance à vos commandements.
Oyez tout le monde.
Et compresse.
Que va-t-il Bastille?
Bien oye.
Avance à bleu de Versailles. Les chevaucheurs sont prêts. Les chevaucheurs s'écoutent. Il n'y faut que la nuit. Les chevaucheurs sont prêts. Les chevaucheurs sont prêts.
Longtemps va-t-il demeurer?
Manœuvre! Ouvre le feu!
Reste porteur.
Laissons les commandements.
The enemy grew ever more desperate as their ranks thinned and their hopes of victory faded.
Appareillez ce manoir! J'exploite les réparements!
Vestiaire de bois. Giovanni Basti.
Il n'y faut que la nuit.
Reste pour la besoin d'un jet moi exploité. Attends, marche arrière, vous êtes tous.
Les chevaucheurs s'écoutent.
Abasse le commandement!
Chevaucheurs, soyez prêts.
Aceste votre respect, l'ennemi, aux allants. Hiver. L'Antec Papa, prima. Vos commandements.
Reste pour la besoin, madame!
Attendez les commandements.
Chevaucheurs, soyez prêts. Vos compagnons. Avance à mon commandement.
Let's do some damage.
Les soins de nos attaques, madame.
Quel est votre plaisir?
Doncia Lorez. Accordé.
Acest votre jetzt vos appuis.
Aldertan, seulement.
Sommes en
Madame, allons, s'adresse tous. Rappareillement.
Attendez les commandements!
Desconfite, ennemis.
si comme vos voldre.
Manœuvre! Ouvre le stop!
L'ennemi nous a
J'exploite les réparements!
Soyez prest, compagnons.
Oyez let.
Allons, ça, tous!
Fais ici. Avance à vos commandements.
J'obtiens paix, vos offices.
Homme fautrai. Leur fatigue s'estu. Attendez, les commandements.
Defeated and demoralized by the strength of the French defense, the Black Prince's army abandoned their siege of the capital. Paris celebrated victory, but this was not the last test the French would face in their struggle to win the war. The walls of Paris held out against the English onslaught. England's King Edward and the Black Prince abandoned the siege. They marched towards Chartres to try their luck at conquering a less formidable target. But before they could attack, a violent storm hit the army. Killing 1,000 English soldiers in a tempest of hail and freezing winds. To Edward, this Black Monday disaster seemed like divine retribution. A sign that it was time to stop waging war and make peace with France's King Jean. But even as peace between kings was reached, the people of France were still living in bloodshed and turmoil. Between 1358 and 1370, France was in chaos. Peasant uprisings, rampaging bands of mercenaries, and civil war ravaged the country. Peasants rose in rebellion, killing their lords and wreaking havoc. Mercenary bands also roamed the land. Known as routiers, they had once been hired by the English to fight against the French, but were cut loose when peace was reached. They systematically ravaged and pillaged towns across France. And with King Jean prisoner in England, his son Charles the Dauphin faced homegrown attacks on his rule by powerful French lords, beset from all sides. The Dauphin's forces had to regain control over their own country. Having only recently been crowned King of France, Charles V dispatched his army to the French-held village of Évreux to forge order from chaos. From here, the army would move to extinguish three major threats. Bands of roving mercenaries harrying the countryside, a peasant uprising, and attacks from a rival for the French crown, Charles of Navarre. The French army would start by reclaiming the rebel-held villages of Cocherel, Jouy, and Croissy.
Tuts audite, lirefatio.
Ecce li mandement.
Ok.
Que demandes?
Escolte bene. Con me. Escolte bene. Tuts odi affect. Vado laburar. Cose sarà ma sonata? Io ma sono la cose. Benefect. Felice et beat. Felice et beat. Ecce li mandement. Vado laburar.
Ordine secund mandement. Audi, chevalier.
Felice et beat. Tuts audite. Io ma sono la cose.
Tuts audite.
Felice.
Io ma sono la cose.
Et ci li mandement.
As the French army struggled to regain control of the countryside, they were struck by a band of English routiers. These mercenaries had been cut loose by the English army and were plundering the countryside in order to make a living.
Escolte bene!
In aiuto!
Labour Speranza. Quante terra quel labour?
The French forces eliminated the routier attack, but more were still raiding the countryside in search of provisions and riches. The routier demanded payment from the French, or they would continue their horrifying raids.
Come Mondes. Quitamus.
Arquière parade. Hommes, prêt.
Est facile, cavalier.
Troops. Quemandes.
Quelle? Io ma sono la cosa.
Six hommes.
Benefect.
Come Mondes.
Arco parade.
Mandes quelle.
Vamos, venez tous. Ordine tenet.
Arquière parade. Parade. Parade pour la bourrade.
Escolte bene. Labour Speranza.
Io ma sono la cose. Odite. Proxime.
Six hommes. Secco materia. Toutes audite.
Vado labourard. Cos'è sera parate?
E ci li mandamont. Restituo. Comprendo. Cosa sarà ma sonata? Sì.
Vale.
Hommes, prevenies, servientes.
Si, obeyo. Cursores parat. In avant, cursores.
Et celima. Sito.
Cos'è sera massonata?
Ascolte bene.
Ok, bene.
Buon lavoro.
Tutto dite. Lavoro.
Ordine tenez.
Odite.
Par secund mandement. Equites attendant ici.
Ecceli mandement.
Vale.
Yafek.
Si, uscito!
Lire faccio.
En linea civiliers.
Ecceli.
Parade pour venir.
Parade pour venir. Restituo.
Attention. Si, comprendo.
Bene fatte.
Dolme bien. Es facile, cavalier. Secund mandement. Quitamus. Ocest. Equites. In avant. Est facile, cavalier. Chevalier. Pace move. Est facile, cavalier.
The French discovered the Routier hidden camp and could put an end to the English raids if they could destroy the camp.
Parade et archère.
Equites attendant ici. Diete, caval. Cavalarios parade. Parade. Guerra formata. Cavalarios parade. Diete, caval. Guerra formata. Oveille.
Parade et archère. Parade et archère. Daniel, servez de
With the Routier camp destroyed, mercenary attacks were no longer a threat.
Tutto dite.
Comprendo.
Io ma sono la cose.
Si.
Vado labura.
Quid ordines. Attention. In avant, servientes.
Parates, servientes. Ambulance. Ambulance.
Ordines. Audite, mili ocest.
Dolmevier, second mandement. Civiliers. Equites, in avant. Pace, move. Quitamus. Si, comprendo.
In taking the village of Jouy, the French army was closer to stemming the peasant rebellion and regaining control.
Attention, orchestre. Pace, move. Second mandement.
Ecce mandement.
Ordine tenets.
Comprendo.
Quid Mondes?
Bene o bene.
Audite, militaires. Quitamus. Equites in avant. Si, comprendo.
The village of Poissy, rich in gold deposits, was a crucial town for the French to reclaim.
Quitamus. Civalier.
The French army defeated the rebels at Poissy and took control of the gold-rich village. The central monastery town of Cocherel was still under the control of rebel peasants. The French army would have to take it before they could launch an assault on Charles of Navarre.
Ordine tenets. Est facile, cavalier. Dolmevier.
La bourse Espérance. Colonnes, Païtis. Six hommes. Mandesqued.
Attention. Novos ordines. Pace, move. Est facile, cavalier.
Attention! Aussitôt. In avant. Obéio. Dolme viequites. In avant. Orchest. Herr Sultan! Odite, servientes!
The French army took control of the rebel villages, and the peasant uprising was subdued. But to keep control over the region, they would need to defend its center of influence, the monastery at Cocherel. Northeast of Cocherel, Charles of Navarre's army had established a fortified camp. The King of Navarre sought to make himself ruler of France as well. He intended to press his claim by destroying the newly arrived royal forces.
L'heure est de besoigner.
Attendez les commandements, manants. Giovanni Bastien. En besoin. Reste pour la besogne, manants. Manuel assouvi. Belle
Reste pour une sanglante hâtie.
bonne besogne, Nantes. En Bronston. Baillets moins besoin. Besoin à faire. Oh, me faut trahir.
Quel est votre plaisir?
Attendez, laisse comme un monde. Commande, avant.
Dictes vos comme un convent et la fouet.
Ion jazz de Sciences. Oi, mestier des bouets, besoin de nos attentes, Manance. Nous devons savoir.
Thomas en ordonnance. Chevalier. Si comme vos vendrez. Quand je commande. Avant.
Dictes moi. Besoigne.
Besoin Manance.
Incompréhensible.
Tous de ya, Lauretz.
Bien, bien.
Weisund, Postkommandement.
Siège à 6.
Manance, preste à ouvrir.
Oui, là.
Besoin nos attendre. Manance. 16 belle manouère.
Brest,
Lance
forme
petit
sanglante
de
à
s'estuie.
Bien donné.
Bonne besoin. Manance. Ouvrons donc.
Incompréhensible.
Tous de ya, Lauretz.
Bien.
Attentis! Oye!
Compagnon, Brest parade.
No soyons.
On baisse les querelles.
Mactons nos en l'avouer, fratresse. Même si souhait.
Compagnon! Chivos ordonnances!
Reste pour la besoin, Manance. Lance bâti de s'estuie. Oyez les ordonnances.
Bien, bien. Advertance, tout le monde.
Advertance tout le monde.
Or attendons ordonnance. Régiment demande.
Manance, reste à ouvrir.
Accordé.
Laissez-moi
Forme sanglante à
Reste tout estasis!
Weisund, Postkommandement.
Oyez les commandements. Mettons s'envoyer. Attentis! Reste tous à lance.
Twee Wolstowie. Wij en avant. Si obéis à vos commandements. Si vous désespère. Suisse en Arson et Rhin. J'obtempère à vos advices. Orsus à Audestrière. Jared incontinent. Suisse en Arson et Rhin. J'y besoigne. Ainsi soit-il. J'y besoigne. Avant. J'obtempère à vos advices. Orsus à Audestrière.
Engins de siège, attendez vos ordonnances! Voices, compagnons!
Oi, si sera fait. Voisez, compagnons, voisez. Aucun bon de beauté. Voisez, compagnons, voisez. Oi. À merveille. Mettons sans bruit. Second votre commandement. À merveille. Reste tous à l'once. Reste tous à l'once.
Pushing up the hillside, the French discovered Charles of Navarre's camp. His front line had the high ground and was made up entirely of archers. The French would have to think carefully about how to approach the stronghold.
Dictes vos grandwerk en la fouet.
The French army had repelled Charles of Navarre, stemmed the revolt, and held back the raids of the Routiers. In the struggle for control over France's lands, the king still clung to power. With rebels and raiders eliminated at Cocherel, King Charles V faced one last threat to France: the relentless English invaders. Word arrived that the English army was weak and scattered, divided by infighting. The king quickly directed his army to chase down the old enemy of France at Pont-Valin.